This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Scream at the 12-year-olds on my basketball team. When he gave us praise, it was carefully delivered, and it meant something. He wanted us to earn it through mental toughness and a tenacious work ethic. Because of this, most kids both loved and feared him. He was an old-school disciplinarian and didn't mind letting people know it. As my siblings and I entered adolescence, he developed code words for us, which he would use to warn us that we were about to go over a line we did not want to cross. He'd use these code words in conversation, at the dinner table, or in public to say, "This is your last warning, do not push my buttons anymore." My older brother Scott is a typical firstborn son. He loved to challenge my dad's authority. His code word was cream. Mine was ice, and my younger sister Liza was Sunday. If we were all misbehaving, upsetting my mother and about to catch a spanking, my dad just had to yell, "Ice cream Sunday!" and we would stop right away. But as I look back on it, being the guy furiously screaming "Ice cream Sunday" probably didn't help to rid my father of his reputation among my friends of being the scary dad. Even back then, we knew his crazy temper and strict discipline were just forms of tough love. He wanted to get the best from each of us, and he got it. As a coach, no one pushed me harder. He had me play 3 games on the final day of the 14-year-old state championships with a raging fever because he knew how badly I wanted to win the tournament. He'd set up cones in the basement so that after dinner I could do dribbling drills in the dark. But the result was worth it. And when I consider what motivated my siblings and me most, it all boiled down to one phrase that my dad used constantly that gave us the permission and the directive to stand out. He loved to remind us, bronze are different. My siblings and I knew that some of the parents in town rewarded their kids for good grades. This could mean up to $100 for an A, $75 for a B, $50 for a C, and so forth. When I asked my parents for some form of compensation for my academic performance, my request was shot down immediately. "Paul Mazza just got $150 for good grades. Can I get something?" I'd ask. "Bronze are different. You have our gratitude," they'd say. During Hanukkah, rather than receiving 8 nights of gifts, we received gifts on only 4 nights. And the alternate 4 nights, we selected a charity that my parents donated to in our names. When we'd ask why half of our Hanukkah gifts were charitable donations instead of presents, my parents would simply respond, "Because bronze are different." Most of our friends had high-tech toys and video games, but my siblings and I were told to go read books or play outside. Our pleas and arguments were always met with the same response, "Bronze are different." My dad didn't think we were superior. He wanted us to hold ourselves to a higher standard. This phrase was not only used to justify my mom and dad's different approach to parenting, but to celebrate us when we displayed courage by taking the path less traveled. If we stood up for a classmate who was being bullied, they would applaud us by saying, "You know why you did that? Because bronze are different." Children want nothing more than their parents' approval, and pretty soon we developed an inherent drive to live into the ideals they had defined for us. Every night before we went out to parties in middle and high school, my dad would say, "Remember Dad's rules." Dad's rules meant, don't do anything that you wouldn't do if Dad were watching. Choose your actions as if Dad were next to you the whole time. These expectations of excellence became the tent poles that formed our values, and our values then guided the choices we made. They served as a constant reminder that to achieve exceptional things, you must hold yourself to exceptional standards, regardless of what others may think. My dad even went so far as to order license plates that read YBNML, which my scared middle school friend